very good evening to you. I am Ryan Broom with a Wednesday, November 29th edition of the CBC Evening News. In our top story, the finishing touches are being applied for tomorrow's celebration of Barbados' 51st anniversary of independence. And as usual, there's much anticipation for the elaborate ceremony held annually to mark the occasion. This year, as in many previous years, the main event will be at the Garrison Savannah, and that's where our Kareem Smith is right now, standing by to tell us what the official plans are for the day. Kareem?
Thank you, Ryan. I'm here live at the Garrison Savannah where the stage is set for tomorrow's grand celebration. The fields are well manicured, the weather is pristine, and the Barbados flag is flying high behind me. At this time, I have Captain Jamel Sobers with me from the Barbados Defense Force, and he's just going to tell me a bit about tomorrow's celebration. Jamel?
Well, tomorrow you can expect a good show with a lot of pageantry. Also, this is one of the days that the soldiers look forward to because they get to display their skills in terms of drill. Also, there will be a display by the St. John's Ambulance.
Okay. Thank you. Captain Sobers, can you just tell me a bit more about your role in the preparations for tomorrow?
Yes, as Parade Marshal, I am responsible for the preparation of the parade grounds, ensuring that the necessary infrastructure is in place and making sure that the sequence of events for tomorrow run to time.
Thank you so much, Captain Sobers. And we know that tomorrow the parade will not be the only big event on show. As we know, our very own superstar Rihanna is going to be honored tomorrow with the renaming of the Westbury New Road. At this point in time, I have the mastermind behind it all, Mr. Hugh Foster, who's going to tell me just what we can expect from that celebration.
Well, first of all, a lot of people were involved in putting this together. You know, I was just the chairman of the planning committee. But tomorrow we expect a really good celebration, which will be fitting for Robin Rihanna Fenty in terms of the incredible achievement she's had over the years that we all know about. And Cabinet has agreed that we will change the name of Westbury New Road to Rihanna Drive. And actually, she herself chose Independence Day for this to be done.
Okay, will she be there tomorrow?
Yes, my reliable information tells me she'll be there. I know her advance team is here because we met with them yesterday on site, and I'm told she's here too as well.
Okay, this is the 51st time that we're going to be doing this as a country, and each year it seems the celebrations just continue to get better and better. Of course, you can view it with us tomorrow morning from 6:45 until about 9 o'clock. And then in the evening for that grand celebration for our superstar Rihanna takes place from around 3 until about 5:30. Just stay tuned. Ryan?
Thanks so much, Kareem. We're all looking forward to tomorrow's big celebrations. Well, in other news now, one of the country's most controversial statues has been vandalized. Our Kareem Smith, again, was also in the city center earlier today and filed this report.
It's the eve of Barbados' 51st anniversary of independence, and commuters in the Bridgetown area woke up to a strange sight. This morning, the famous Lord Nelson statue was plastered in blue and yellow. He wasn't alone, as blue and yellow seem to be the color of choice for most Barbadians on the eve of independence. However, on this controversial monument, the colors somehow struggled to blend in. Below, a message captioned "Nelson will fall" revealed the motive for the brazen act. On the scene, at least one officer in uniform and some plainclothes police informed us that this was a crime scene. Meanwhile, another man who said he was a member of the National Conservation Commission was also assessing the defaced statue. The monument has been a point of debate among Barbadians, many of whom refer to Lord Nelson as a key voice in support of the enslavement of black Barbadians during the colonial period. Today, that debate continued.
It's a lawless act, so I don't know exactly what's really going on there at all. So, I mean, tourists come here and look at it and see anything, but I don't know much about him really and history with Nelson. He had him black players per se, but I don't know.
It's about time that he is replaced from there and our statue placed there.
When you came into the city and you saw this new Nelson, how did it make you feel? What did you
I smiled. I smiled. Yeah. I mean, we Barbadians getting a little gumption, say the least. Yeah.
When I was scrolling down my Facebook and I saw it, I felt a sense of pride.
You think that the person went about it the right way though?
Yeah. I don't got a problem with the way the person went about it. I think we need to make more of these types of stands You can't continue to be passive, and you don't really get what you want.
Nelson statue was there as a little boy and as an adult now, and sometimes they don't even notice Nelson statue is there.
Let her take it down, but don't paint it out like that.
For many others, a discussion about the color of Lord Nelson's statue was simply not worth their time. The Independence Parade is scheduled to pass through the city and right beside the statue. By that time, though, the colors will be gone. Late this evening, men were seen washing off the paint. Police PRO Inspector Roland Cobbler says no arrests have been made in the matter, but lawmen are requesting the public's assistance in finding whoever is responsible for defacing the statue. Kareem Smith, CBC News.
And thanks again, Kareem. Well, Rodney Grant is stepping down as the Chief Executive Officer of the Pinelands Creative Workshop. Mr. Grant made the announcement during a media briefing this morning at the Marcus Garvey Resource and Development Center in The Pine. He said he is running for the St. Michael Southeast seat in the next general election and wants to ensure the organization does not suffer any political confusion or victimization. The DLP candidate says he believes it is simply the right thing to do, adding that the workshop signed on to a code of conduct which he intends to uphold.
The code under the issue of governance talks about governance within Caribbean NGOs shall be guided by good governance principles of equity, inclusion, participation, transparency, and accountability. It also states that NGOs shall refrain from deliberate involvement in any activity which might bring the institution into disrepute, and to ensure that no conflict of interest exists between members and the attainment of the organization's missions and goals. So, as a civil society organization who have signed on to the code, we have to live by the things that we sign by.
Now, Grant led the organization for 30 of its 40 years, and the resignation will not come into effect until January 5th next year.
I am very clear in my mind about the decision that I've made to serve at the political level and to use my vast knowledge in terms of my local, national, and international knowledge to work for the betterment not only of this constituency but for the betterment of Barbados on the whole. I believe sincerely that we need a new political class who sees nationalism as key to building a stronger society rather than narrow individualism. And I keep saying it. I keep saying that we can't move the society forward on the basis of individualism. We got to get people back to the sense of working together, that sense of collectivity, that sense of nationalism. And until we do this, we can talk about all the empowerment, all the economic building. Unless we can get people to work together, we are going nowhere.
So we take a pause here, but we'll have more news after the break.
Hi, we are Rum & Co. And we want you to know that all of us play a part in tourism.
I am tourism.
I am tourism.
I am tourism.
I am tourism.
Tourism is our business. Let's all play a part.
A message from the Barbados Tourism Product Authority.
Moving forward together.
Upgrade to Digicell's Quick Pick Bundles. Save big on data. Get data and get unlimited WhatsApp messaging and Digicel Talk. Pick a 1-day bundle, a 7-day bundle, or for the best value, a 30-day bundle. Save money every single day. Pick the bundle that's right for you. Go to My Digicel app or dial *246 # to buy a Quick Pick bundle today. Digicel.
Let's celebrate Barbados and tune in to CBC TV 8 for live coverage of the 51st Annual Independence Parade, Thursday, November 30th at 6:45 a.m. and streaming on cbc.bb.
God knows what he was doing when he put Independence Day on Thursday, because I don't plan to stand in this house. Me and the two grands going down Pirate Score for Q-Fest. Them going in the kids zone with them jumping tents and them things so. And I going to line dance and have some fun playing games. Don't worry, I still able. I making sure we belly full cause all sort of food both there. And then going back home cause you see, I got to change and put on my good dress for the dance at Blue Moon. And the $10, can't forget the $10 to get in. Cute kids, cute in the community, and a cute dance. Cute good for me. Remember, the cute dance is $10. Everything else free, you hear?
The doctors are live and online.
We have another caller.
Concerned about chronic illnesses? Just ask.
I was getting like a sharp pain, a stomach cramp.
Or the right medication and side effects for your ailment?
Common drugs that treat glaucoma are beta blockers, and they also slow down your heart rate.
Get advice on how to eat right.
If you eat a lot of food like eggs, of course, got sulfur in it.
Just ask.
You know, you have good bacteria that exist in your stomach. And one of the bad things is when you introduce antibiotics, it causes alteration in these bacteria.
CBC presents Medical every first and third Friday at 9 p.m. on CBC TV 8 with Rosemary Allen. They are your lifeline.
Brought to you with the compliments of Glucerna, Hunger Smart.
Welcome back. Well, more support is coming for the implementation of breathalyzer testing. It's from Minister of Foreign Affairs and Leader of Government Business in the Senate, Senator Maxine McLean. She says while some people are opposed to the measure, she fully supports its use to ensure the safety of all road users.
I do not share the view that some people have that this is going to interfere with our, how would they describe it, our culture. They say we are a rum-producing nation and all that, that's fine. But at the same time, I think what we're really saying is that if it is not a problem for you, then you don't have to worry. You know, if you're somebody who would probably be found on the wrong side if you had to go through a test, a breathalyzer test, well, then you deserve, you know, to have to deal with it.
Also supporting the measure is Independent Senator Carol Lady Haynes. However, she says the test must be properly administered.
In the amendments on page 24, breath analysis KP5C, it refers to the specimens of breath shall be provided at the place where the requirement is made or at the police station nearest to that place as soon as is reasonably practicable after the member of the police force makes the requirement. Madam President, that does not make a lot of sense to me. There must be a time limit within which this breathalyzer reading would be relevant and would be accurate.
And while changes to the Road Traffic Act have been widely supported, a government senator is more concerned with whether the new rules will be properly enforced. This submission from Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, Senator Jepter Ince.
We have enough laws in Barbados. But as I say, management, what type of society do we want to manage? And we must enforce the law. Violators of the law must pay a penalty. Let persons know you cannot drive, you cannot be under the influence of alcohol and drive.
Barbadians who understand the problems facing farmers on a daily basis will show no opposition to the Protection of Agricultural Products and Livestock Bill. Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Agricultural Society and St. Michael West Central Member of Parliament, James Paul, shared the view in Parliament in a passionate rebuttal to Opposition Leader Mia Motley's critique of the bill. Mr. Paul says it will provide a much-needed ease for farmers and pave the way to increase economic growth for local agriculture.
I think that in the market, there are decent, law-abiding citizens, and we have no difficulty with those persons. What we must have as Barbadians and stand against them are those wretched people who will go out there and deprive people of their produce. And I am ashamed to see that an opposition cannot hold the government's hand in saying that they will not embrace theft in this country under any circumstances.
Plans to create a living museum to memorialize the country's first freedom village in Rock Hall, St. Thomas are still on the cards despite numerous delays. This assurance from Culture Minister Stephen Lashley.
We are committed and determined to complete this project. I know it has taken some time, but I don't want to recite all the reasons for delays. But most of those reasons were certainly outside of the control of the ministry. We have been assured by the Ministry of Transport and Works, who are responsible for the works at the project. The works have resumed, and we've been assured that certainly on or about April next year, that the first phase.
Minister Lashley made the comments during a ceremony to recognize residents who were involved in the painting of a mural in the Rock Hall community. Residents were also part of a cultural show which was held at the site during the recently held Kerry Festa. The minister has expressed a desire to see this continue on a long-term basis. Well, we take another break here, but when we return, we'll take a look at the stories making headlines across the region.
Community Files.
As part of the activities for CARICOM Energy Month, everyone is invited to view a German energy exhibition from Monday, November 27th to Saturday, December 2nd from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. at the University of the West Indies Cave Hill campus. The exhibition highlights Germany's transition to sustainable energy. The event is organized by the CARICOM Secretariat in partnership with the Division of Energy and Telecommunications.
Help support the restoration efforts for the hundreds of thousands affected by catastrophic hurricanes. Donate to the Red Cross Hurricane Relief account at any branch of the following: CIBC First Caribbean, account number 10011633436. First Citizens, 500-900-00588. RBC Royal Bank, 210-05073. And Republic Bank, 01804-153-1001. Monies raised will be sent to the International Red Cross for its restoration work for affected persons. Appeal closes 30th November 2017. Persons wishing to post checks should make these out to Red Cross Hurricane Relief Appeal account and post to Barbados Red Cross Society, P.O. Box 300 Bridgetown, or hand deliver to the Red Cross Warrens headquarters. The Barbados Red Cross and commercial banks, on behalf of the victims of catastrophic hurricanes, thank all persons and businesses for their contributions.
Shine bright like a diamond.
She's sassy, a go-getter, a global megastar, and she's ours. Watch from the comfort of your home as our country honors our Bajan superstar. Join us for Our Diamond, the Rihanna Drive Project. Live on Cbc TV 8, Independence Day at 2:45 p.m.
Across the Caribbean, brought to you by CIBC First Caribbean.
Welcome back. Well, steps are being taken in Trinidad and Tobago to reform the National Insurance Board and make it sustainable. Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Alison West, says it was recommended that the contribution rates be increased, along with a hike in the maximum insurance earnings.
Both recommendations are implemented with the immediate impact of increasing the revenues of the NIB. Although these changes positively impacted the NIB in the short term, recent macroeconomic conditions have negatively impacted the NIB and offset these gains. Further contribution rate increases, restraint in future benefit increases, and an increase in the retirement age for the unreduced pension from 60 to 65 over a 35-year period from 2025 to 2060. These major reforms require considerable public sensitization and national dialogue to be successfully implemented.
Governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, Timothy Antoine, says the region has to enact laws that will help Caribbean countries recover from difficult conditions, such as those caused by natural disasters.
You can be hit by a hurricane, and some people take the argument, well, if you're hit by a hurricane, what's the point of fiscal responsibility? But if I could use a cricket analogy, you walk to the wicket to bat and you could be bowled first ball. But you have to give yourself a chance at the crease to be able to make runs, and the longer you stay there, the more likely you are to make runs. We have to give ourselves a chance. And that's what fiscal responsibility, fiscal resilience does. It allows us to give ourselves a chance to respond to shocks. Is that the magic bullet? It is not. But in my estimation, it is a must-do.
In St. Lucia, Economic Development Minister Guy Joseph has expressed dismay about Opposition Senator Goban Ferdinand's characterization of him during an address at the SLP St. Jude protest rally over the weekend. He is accusing the opposition of resorting to racial slurs as a diversionary tactic. Joseph suggests that the SLP may be using this ethnic background to prevent him from being outspoken on domestic policy.
Economic Development Minister Guy Joseph has objected to Opposition Senator Gideon Ferdinand's description of him at the recent SLP St. Jude protest rally. During his time on the podium, Ferdinand sought to make a strong case for completing the hospital project.
Come and discuss the findings of the audit in Parliament, where we can represent you and we can ask them questions, and they will answer the questions. But instead, we just hear about the audit, and we hear a coolie man, an Indian, saying, if it was me and I know what is in there, as if he's some engineer and some expert on demolishing and building.
During the weekly pre-cabinet media conference on Monday, Minister Joseph told the press that he was appalled by the comments he views as a slur.
When you're going to use names, that sends a derogatory message about a certain set of people in this country. That's not the first time the Labour Party has done that to me. Because it's as if because I'm of an Indian heritage, I should not have a say in anything that happens in St. Lucia. So if I were to go and use the words that they use to describe me, to describe them, they would tell you, oh, you are disrespectful, you are...
Joseph accuses the opposition of resorting to personal attacks to mask their lack of depth on policy issues.
Across the Caribbean, brought to you by CIBC First Caribbean.
Well, a glimpse into the world of sports is just ahead, but first, here's a tip from Cooperators General Insurance.
Brought to you by Cooperators General Insurance Company Limited. Insurance the way you want it to be.
Drivers should be careful turning across oncoming vehicles to enter secondary roads, as the speed and distance of the oncoming vehicle can be easily misjudged. Cooperators General, promoting safety on our roads.